1970 Plymouth Barracuda, originally a 318 car. We found this car out of Washington State. Overall, pretty good car, just like most of these old Mopars. It needed floors. So we did a lot of rust repair on it to the center of the vehicle. But the bones overall are really good. This gentleman is a local guy, Jason. He kind of heard about us through the grapevine. And his dad was a Mopar guy. He had a 70 Roadrunner back in the day. And so he kind of wanted to do a father-son project. And so he contacted me and said, hey, I need a badass Mopar. And so he came into the shop, saw a 69 Roadrunner with a Hellcat swap that we were building, and that kind of fueled the fire. So fast forward a year later, here we are with 70 Cuda with a Hellcat T56 6-speed, big ass tires, big ass brakes, and yeah, that's gonna do a big ass burnout. So how'd we end up here?
I think we ended up pretty well.
Looks like everything's fitting nice.
Yeah.
Cold air intake passing through the inner fender, and got some nice little beading detail in there.
Yeah.
The Dodge symbol, I like it.
Keeping with the Mopar.
Keeping it real Mopar. And then it's kind of a similar story like John's Camaro. We got heat exchanger for the supercharger. We got an extra large power steering cooler that'll get plumbed into the power steering pump. AC condenser, northern radiator, 4-core race radiator.
Big beefy mofo.
Big beefy mofo. 3300 CFM fans. We got our dash 10 ports for our oil cooler. That'll get fed off our oil adapter. So the next step is kind of what we did over here. We got to build another inner fender panel. We got to mount our circulation pump to move the fluid from the intercooler and the supercharger into the heat exchanger. So that pump will get nested right down in this area. So we'll have to make a little provision. You got a blank made there?
Yeah, we kind of start out with our cardboard cutout. Get a rough idea of the shape that we need to cut out of the sheet metal. Get that kind of fit in there, make sure we're good on clearance. Keep everything a little bit big. Can always trim after we cut it out of the sheet metal. So yeah, transfer that onto this mating gauge.
Cut out the blank and then start fitting it to the car from there.
Cut out the blank, then bend. Gets a nice little bend in the bottom. Make sure everything fits nice, and then do our beading detail and get it in the car.
All we got to do is match this beading detail perfectly from this side to that side.
Yes.
Nothing to it, right?
Everything's a good 1/4 inch off.
Perfect.
Yes.
Just to F with people. Yeah, this side's going to get a little more busy because we're going to have our coolant lines for the intercooler running this way, and then we'll have our expansion tank mounted here. So we'll have to be kind of mindful of that too. When we do this beading detail, we'll have to kind of position those lines accordingly so we can still get that detail showing up.
Absolutely.
So this is always the most critical phase of the build because you got to try to be like 10 steps ahead of yourself, you know.
Think of everything that could possibly happen.
Exactly.
Most likely will happen.
Yep. And then just because you built it one way once doesn't mean that you're not going to tear it all apart and start over.
Yep.
Because the plan changed. Kind of like how when we originally set out to build the car, it was going to be a drag car.
And here we are.
And now it's going to be more of a road race car. Originally it was going to have a 4L80 automatic.
Yep.
Now it's a 3-pedal car with a T56 Magnum.
It's the only way to do it.
It's the only way to do it.
Yeah.
So now we got a lot more versatility with the car. Plus, if he wants to road trip it, we'll have vintage air, we'll have tunes, we'll have a nice interior, we'll have a back seat still with a partial cage. Removable door bars.
Movable harness bar.
Removable harness bar.
This will be
So,
just a super versatile build.
yep, absolutely. And not to mention 800 horse on tap. Should shit and get all right.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.